The white-tailed deer is just such a fascinating animal to me. You know, I absolutely love deer hunting, and there is no bigger passion of mine than when it comes to hunting deer in the state of Michigan. We have over 500,000 hunters here, and there is a lot of deer. There might not always be big bucks like this guy right here, but you know what? There's a lot of deer and there's a lot of hunters. So with that being said, I want to use every little tool that I can to make sure that I have an advantage when I'm in a stand or I'm in the woods, period. You know, I just want to be successful. I want to see deer. I want to be able to have the best opportunity that I can get when deer hunting. You know, the white-tailed deer is just so fascinating. Their nose has over 297 million receptors in it. A bloodhound, 220 million. You and I, well, we only got 5 million in our olfactory there. So with that being said, a deer actually uses his nose quite a bit to rely on his safety and his survival. They're able to pick you and I off. They're able to pick bears, wolves, coyotes, bobcats off. They're able to pick any kind of predator off by simply using their nose. And that's why it's so important to me, again, to really use this as an advantage. And now how can you ask that I'm going to use a deer's nose to my advantage? Well, I'm doing everything that I can to beat it. You know, there's a lot of guys out there that say you can't beat it. There's guys out there that say you can beat it. In this video here, I'm going to show you what I do in the woods and what I do outside of the woods to help me have the best odds at beating a white-tailed deer's nose. Now, does that mean that it's going to work for you? No. Does it mean it's going to work for me all the time? No. There's going to be little hiccups, but this is the process that I use, and I just wanted to show it to you guys because I get a lot of questions, especially when it's coming towards a deer camp time. You know, we're up in the UP, we're far away from a shower, and guys are like, you know, what? How do you clean yourself? Well, there's a couple things that we found. You can use hotels, motels. You can use gyms. You can use, you know, a YMCA. Or you can use a lake or pond or stream, although that gets brutally cold. One thing that we've done recently is we bought a shower, and I'll put a link to it below. I believe it is called the EcoTemp 5. I could be wrong on that. But again, I'll put that link in the description below for you guys that want to check that out, because that is an important tool, an important part of allowing us to be successful when we're trying to beat the white-tailed deer's nose. So stay tuned, because right now you're going to see what I do to get ready for deer season. So currently I am in my laundry room, and this right here is where my scent control process all begins. 1 month prior to season, our season opens on October 1st here in Michigan. So right about September 1st, I am changing the way I'm doing laundry. You know, I'm no longer using Tide to do my clothes. I am changing it up, and I'm using a scent killer kind of laundry detergent. You know, I'm even using this stuff on my regular street clothes. I'm also using it on my work clothes as well. The reason for that is I want my washing machine to be basically as scent free as possible, and that's why I use a scent killer laundry detergent in there. And I do this again about 1 month before season. I do it on all my clothes, so there is no Tide residue whatsoever left in my washing machine. Now when I'm washing my gear, I wash it about 4 times a year. I wash it before bow season, I wash it before rifle season, before muzzleloader season, and then a final time once the season comes to an end. And you know, when you really think about the grand scheme of things, that's really not that many times. You know, our season's, I think, 93 days here in Michigan, and I wear this hoodie right here alone more than 10 times throughout the season, and it gets in that wash more than that. So there's really no effect there. So with that being said, when I do my laundry and my hunting gear, I always turn my hunting clothes inside out. And then I pour the liquid on there, and then I run the cycle in the washing machine. Once I'm done with that, I then wear gloves, and I always put it outside. I always air dry my stuff. I like to lay my hunting gear on a pine tree or a cedar tree, and I just always air dry it. And the reason for that is because if I stick my head right in here it stinks. I can't get that smell out of here. So there's no use in just doing a laundry cycle and then throwing your hunting gear in there and then just ruining it 10 seconds later. So that's why I personally air dry my gear. Once it's done air drying it, I get my gloves back on and I put it in totes. And I put them in my bedroom or my hunting room and I leave them in there until the season's ready to go. That's how I kind of do it. I do everything, you know. I wash my hunting pack, I wash my hats. Sometimes I might not do that in the laundry room, but I might do it in a bathtub or a sink. So we're in my bathroom right now, and this is kind of where the second step in my scent control process leads to. Right behind me, I got my shower, and before every single hunt that I've gone on this year, I take a shower, and I change it up about, September. Yeah, September 1st, just the way I do my laundry. I change it up, and I stop using the regular kind of soaps and shampoos that I use, and I switch to an unscented kind, and I use that throughout the month of September and all through October, November, and December. I changed that up because I don't want to have any kind of scents on me. I just want to go unscented. Speaking of unscented, cologne, she gone. I'm done using cologne starting September 1st as well. And I will not use that, September, October, November, and December. And if I'm hunting in January, I won't use it then either. I also am using an unscented deodorant. This kind here is Mitchum. It's worked well for me. I kind of got some sensitive skin, so this is the one that I prefer. There's a lot of other kinds out there. You'll have to do some research and find one that you like. Not only that, but I use Crest baking soda to use on my toothbrush when brushing my teeth, and I always follow that up by eating an apple. There are so many scents that come out of your mouth, it's unfanning. So I end up using that and eating an apple every time, and it seems to help me. Again, what I'm doing in here doesn't mean that it is the right way or the wrong way to do it, but it helps me out, and it might help me get an extra shot. It might give me an extra 10 to 15 seconds, but that 10 to 15 seconds sure can be critical. So the next step in my scent control game is storage. I keep all of my gear, my backpacks, my camo, my hats, my boots, all my hunting gear stored in one single location. And I do that locked away in this room right here. This door is always shut in my house. I do not let people in there that smoke. I do not let people in there that vape. Let me rephrase that. If you smell like smoke, I'm not letting you in there. I don't let people chew in there. I don't let people vape in there. I do not eat in there. I certainly don't let my pets in there. If you smell like cologne or perfume, I do not let you in this room. I'll bring out the film and I'll show it to you there. I do that because I try to keep this room as scent-free as possible. I don't want to take any chances. Like I said earlier, how strong and powerful the white-tailed deer's nose is, there is no chances, especially when you're hunting public land. So we're going to go in here and we're going to show you where I keep my gear. I do this, I put them in a tote, and then in that tote I have a scent lock bag and I have a scent crusher bag. And I have them catered to the season. Now, in my one bag, I have all of my spring and early season whitetail stuff. In the next bag, I got my colder weather gear. And I do this locked away with this door closed. Now, it might be a little bit of an overkill, but you know what? I want to have the best odds that I can have when I'm chasing deer. They're definitely hard enough already to hunt. I don't want to take any more chances and give them any more advantages. This again is my scent control process. It doesn't mean that it works completely. It doesn't mean that it's going to work every time. But you know what? It's allowed me to this season to get away with a little bit more. I've had opportunities at deer I probably wouldn't have elsewise had opportunities at, and I could have killed those deer. Again, this is strictly my routine. Might work for you, it might not. This is the one that's worked for me, It's definitely taken some getting used to. You know, I know even last year I started wearing my camo in my truck, and I put an end to that this year. It does no good, and I'm really sticking to this whole scent kind of control game. I know there's a lot of people out there that believe that, hey, you can just hunt the wind, and you know what? You can, and good for you if you can do it, but I want that advantage, and that's why I go to the extremes that I do. Okay, folks, this next step is very, very, very crucial to my scent control process. I'm only going to do this once because it is a polar vortex out. I mean, it is numb. It's about 10 degrees right now here in mid-Michigan, and I only hope to do this one. So I'm gonna do this, and what I do is I get out of my truck, okay, like I am right now for this morning hunt. I get my tote out, I undo the bag, I take the top of the tote, I put it on the ground. Yes, that's how I do it. I just put the tote top on the ground there. I get on that and I change right on that tote top. It is absolutely numbing, yes, especially when it's colder like this, but it's very, very crucial because there's a lot of scents that are in your truck, especially mine because I have a dog. It's a shotgun rider with me all the time. And you know, even though I try to keep her away from being the co-pilot during hunting season, there's still hair and there's still scents in there. So I try to stay away from that. But right now I'm going to go change into this just like I would. Well, just like I am because I am going hunting. So here's what we'll do. We'll get ready. So the top, I got the top off. All I do is lay this right on the ground. Okay. I have already changed right now actually into what I'll be wearing underneath this. So I go ahead. I'm going to undo the bag. Grab out my bibs, okay? Just gonna place these bibs on. Whew. Whew. All right. Then, using this, kind of use it as a little bench to put my boots on and get ready for the remainder of my hunt. Again, this is very, very crucial to changing outside because if you're just throwing your clothes in your car, you're getting a lot of scent. You just wasted a lot of the things that have been done, or I should say me. I'm sorry, I'm really cold right now, but the things that I have done. So this is how I get ready in the mornings and in the evenings when it's a little bit hotter out. I'll pack my stuff in. Again, I wash my backpack, so I'll just put my gear in there. And I'll also put my jacket or pants in there, and I'll walk in. And usually when I'm about 100 to 150 yards away from my spot, I'll go ahead and I'll change it up then. And I'll throw the rest of my hunting clothes on and then slowly walk into my stand. So now that I've covered how I get ready before season, how I store my gear, how I get ready for the hunt, and lastly, how I get ready in the field, it's time to take that next step. And that next step is what I spray down with. You know, I really like Hunter Specialty products, Scent Away and BioStrike. I use this stuff religiously. I go through a lot of it each year, and I've had great success with it. I'm not sponsored by them or any of these other products used in this video, but this stuff is excellent. I've seen a lot of deer using it, and I've gotten winded a heck of a lot less using this stuff. I spray down with this stuff in the inside of my hat, outside of my hat, all around my jacket, my cuffs, my pants, my boots. I spray down on my shoelaces. I spray down my backpack and my camera gear. The camera gear bag, that is. I spray down with that religiously every time I go out. Like I said, I go through a lot of that stuff each year. The next product that I use, I apply when I'm in the stand, and that is these Hunter Specialty scent wafers right here. Now, for those of you who don't know what these are or have never used them, they're absolutely amazing. I credit so much success to these things. It's almost unbelievable since I've started using them. So all you do is take that paper clip and the scent wafer right here, clip it, and then you clip it on. Clip it on anywhere you want. I prefer clipping mine on to my hat, to my cuffs. I clip them above the armpits. I also clip them around the crotch area, you know, areas that are going to generate a lot of heat, because that's where your scent is most likely going to be coming from. And I try to mask that as well as I can. I love the earth scent ones. I swear by them. Again, another product that I'm not sponsored by, but I absolutely love them. Again, I cannot say just enough, so many good things about them. And you know, when you're out in the deep woods and showers are an issue, the product that I use is right here by Wildlife Research, and it's the Scent Killer Handy Wipes. You know, they're odor free. I wipe down on them as a wipe bath, and you know, it's not the most convenient thing in the world, but it does do the trick. Now, the last thing that I use, and I use it sparingly, okay? I don't use a lot of it, is I use Nose Jammer, and I spray it on my boots, the bottom of my boots, and then I spray it in my ground blind once I'm in there, or I spray a little bit here and there on my steps when I'm climbing up. It's got a real strong vanilla smell to it. If you've never smelled it before and you're seeing someone put it on, you're gonna be like, what in the world are you doing, dude? But I swear by it too, and I use it sparingly. I'll use it a lot more when I have more of just an off wind, but I still think I can get away with it. In fact, I used it when I killed John last year, and I really don't think I would have been able to kill him if I wasn't using that. Now, those are the products that I use when I'm in the field. I don't use an Ozonics, however, I have used them before, but it's just another thing that you got to carry to the woods. And when you're carrying sticks, your saddle, your camera gear, your bow, it all adds up. So I don't really like get into that too much. I have used them before. There is just a touch of noise by them. But again, I haven't used it enough to where I can say, yeah, it's too noisy for me or not. So I'm not even going to touch up on them. Maybe in the future I will. Who knows? But again, these are the products that I use when I'm in the field to spray down with and to help me beat a deer's nose. So there you have it. That is what I do when it comes down to scent control. This is something that I've been really practicing hard this year. I know I've struggled in years past. My biggest thing that I do is I wear my camo in my truck. But again, this year I've made changes and it's paid off for me so far. I've had some opportunities where I really believe that deer wouldn't have stuck around as long as it did, and given me an opportunity at a shot. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, there's a lot of scent that goes out in the whole grand scheme of things, you know, in your truck, your house. You know, for me, I got pets, I got a lady friend, you know, I got candles going, I got food going, I got parties, I got everything that's going. I like to smell good, I got cologne, you know. But you know what? When it's come to September, I really change because I want to be successful in the woods. I know that this could be a touchy subject to most, but this is something that I wanted to show with you on how I do my scent control. You know, the final thing that I do is I really watch out what I'm doing when I'm walking to and from the stand. I make sure that I'm not grabbing branches. I make sure that I have my ball cap on. I make sure that I'm not walking through tall weeds. I'm making sure that I got gloves on. You know, I was talking to a cop one day, and his job actually was, he was in charge of training these police dogs to find drugs. And we had a discussion, and we were talking about deer prior to that. And he told me that, you know, if they have a bad guy and he's on the run through the woods, that dog's going to get that guy no problem. But if they got a bad guy and he's running down the street, that dog's going to struggle a little bit more. And the reason for this is because when he's going in the woods, all those scent molecules are just attaching to all the trees, branches, grasses, everything like that. And it makes that dog's job a lot easier. The same thing goes for a deer. You know, it makes it a lot easier for that deer to pick you off. If you're touching things, you're rubbing up against things. So I really make sure that I try my best not to do that. Does it mean it happens all the time? Absolutely not. You know, I do end up slipping up here and there, getting in and out of new spots, especially being a mobile hunter this year. But anyway, I hope that you guys like this video. I hope that you guys will drop a line below on your scent control game. Tell me what you do differently. I'd love to hear them, because I myself am always looking for an advantage when it comes to deer hunting, and I hope you guys are too. And anyway, it's time to kick this one off, so be sure to give us a like and subscribe below. Until next time, we'll see you in the woods.